I love the movies. I love Rocky. I love them all. But I don't think I've ever like even teared up. Like I teared up a little when Spider-Man got snapped, though.
Well, you know what? Our guest is on the line, and let's take a stab in the dark. Let's see if it's him. It might be his PR guy. Let's see. Is this Michael or is it Tom?
This is me, Michael.
Hey, what's going on, man? So, what movie do you cry?
Hey, man, how are you? Oh man, that's a rough one. It's a hard call for me to cry, but oh man, it's been a minute. I don't even know. I mean, The Notebook kind of screws me up a little bit.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
That's a good one for sure.
Yeah. See, now, Nick, do you cry during The Notebook?
Dude, I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through. Like, I don't.
You're better off.
Rachel McAdams is hot. I know that. Like.
So, Michael, now you're just Michael Orlando. You're still using the vampire, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had the vampire in there. Everyone just kind of started calling me that after a while, so it kind of stuck in the beginning. So it's still my pseudonym online, though.
Well, here's like I've got a couple weird things to tell you before we really get into things. So my co-host Nick, his wife and daughter are actually the whole reason that Dead Girls Academy came onto my radar in the first place, because they were so into you guys, and I kept hearing it mentioned. And Nick was just telling me before we went live on the air, he's like, they actually were at your first show in Arizona, and they bought the very first piece of merchandise you guys ever sold.
Oh, that's incredible. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty wild. And then
that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
I saw you guys back in July when you came to Philly with Adelita's Way.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love those guys. Rick's amazing.
And the one thing, and I talked to your guitar player afterwards, because you guys got on stage and you're getting ready to start, and he just started hollering at the crowd to put your phones down and get your asses up to the front. And I was just like, yes, I love this band. This is great.
That's amazing.
Do you guys have to do that a lot? I mean, it seems like that's the general thing to do now.
You know what? I try not to piss off the crowd as much as humanly possible before I go on, but you know, cell phones are always up, man. I mean, that's how people are now documenting the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty. I am. I'm very guilty of it. Like I do like the whole Facebook. Like I always do like a Facebook Live for like the first couple songs, because I feel like I just want to share, like, not only for myself, but for the people who are being idiots and not getting out of the house. And like, yo, you're missing this. Like, you should be here.
Oh, I agree, man. You know what? And it helps. It does help music. It does help that kind of thing, man, because they put it online. People might dig it. You know, you never know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you got a whole crazy situation that happened where you were actually, and I couldn't find out the whole details of this, but you were in a bus accident where you died momentarily?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I was in a touring van. It was in I-95 in Florida, and then there was a drunk driver going the wrong way on the highway, and he actually collided into our van. And then, you know, I actually woke up in the van, actually slipped on the guy on the way out, and it was too much blood down my throat, so it just cashed me out then, and then I woke up in the ICU.
Holy cow. That's frightening.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now, this is when you were with Vampires Everywhere.
This is actually before that. This was before that, man. This was, you know, the recovery was forever. This was in Florida, man. This was a whole other band situation, but it was pretty nightmare. I mean, it follows me to this day. I mean, I have PTSD from today, you know, post-traumatic from that, man. It's crazy.
Sure. Oh, that's so freaking scary. Damn. So I'm hoping some good music came out of that. Like, that inspires you to write something. I mean, Nikki said the Heroin Diaries. Yeah,
for sure, man. I mean, that kind of stuff, you know, it gave me so much anxiety and so many different problems and stress, and it does help my writing a lot. There's all sorts of stuff, medication people have tried to prescribe me to take for something like that after, and I just refused it because it kind of hinders my creativity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now with the Vampires Everywhere, that was a huge thing you really did. Like, you had this band and you guys were pretty well known and you're out there on the road, releases, videos, the whole 9 yards, record contract and everything. And you decided to make the change and do Dead Girls Academy. Like, that's kind of scary, man. Like, kind of like where you were, I don't want to say content, but comfortable, shall we say. You know what I mean? And you took a big jump.
Yes. Yeah, it was crazy, man. The craziest part about it is at the time the label president of Century Media, that's what I was signed to at the time with Vampires, he ended up leaving and kind of coercing me into starting another band called The Killing Life. And then that didn't work out, and then I went back to Vampires again, and then I was like all about the rebirth of the band. I'm like so stoked, and I had a couple of industry dudes come up to me and friends come up to me and are like, you should think about starting fresh. You're a better musician now. You see, you have a better focus. And I sat on it for like a week or two, man. I'm just like, you know what? They might be right. And I'm actually very happy I did it. It's having something fresh and vibed out and something who you are now, not who you were then, is very important to, progressing as a musician. So I'm stoked on it.
Now, well, how about like, the big thing now in the music industry is people have multiple projects. Did you think about doing 2 separate projects at all at any point, like keeping Vampires and doing Dead Girls, or it was always just like, all or nothing, let me break and do this whole new thing?
It's awesome that you said that because, I did exactly think just that. And the problem is that if your band's not like as big as, I don't know, a Slipknot or, a Fall Out Boy or 21 Pilots of that nature, you going and doing 2 projects kind of throws people into a loop because they're trying to keep up with what you're already trying to do and progress with that. And then now you've thrown them something else and they're shifting focus. So at the level Vampires was at, it was a smarter move for me to do something completely new and shift focus to just that.
I'm happy you said that because so many, let's face it, so many people are out there doing 2-3 different projects, and it is hard to keep up. And there's just, like so much going on, and so many bands out there, and so many bands putting out, thanks to the internet, like everybody's putting out new music every freaking day anymore. So the fact that you
I know,
realize that and like, you know what, like I'm going to do the one. I just need to do the one. Thank you.
Well, it's people get bored. It's ADD now. Kids are like, they hear the song once or twice. They're like, that's cool, and they want something else. What else are you doing? What's next? And I think it's people like Post Malone and Drake and all that situation. Those guys doing that hip hop stuff that really kind of honed in on because they started creating vibed out music for any occasion rather than just one. And so kids kids pulled it up at parties, kids pulled it up when they're driving, kids pull it up, in all sorts of different scenarios. I mean, sex, whatever, that song works. Rock and roll is, it has its moment, man, and especially during your day. And, I listen to mostly rock, but it's, it has its moment. And I think that, you take that, you put another moment in there of rock and roll. People are just like, it's not different. It's not fresh. It's the same thing. And that's why bands nowadays are crossing genres and changing structures and whatnot to try to capture the kids' attention and vibe out. So I feel like there's a resurgence, but it'll be a more fresher sound, I think.
Well, I mean, that's something you did too. Like with Vampires Everywhere, it was definitely a lot darker and heavier to where now with Dead Girls Academy, and I don't want to say it's poppy, but it's definitely got a more commercial feel to it. It's more radio.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was living with Ronnie Radke at the time. We lived together for like 3 years, and when I asked him, my ears were shot, man. I had just recorded a Vampires record. I had helped somebody record something else, so I was shot, man. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to change this whole thing around, and do you think you can produce the record? I need fresh ears on my voice. And he's like, yeah, for sure. So his rendition of Dead Girls Academy is this album, Alchemy, that's out now. And I would, his albums are super poppy. So he rubbed off on me on this one, and I'm thankful for that because I got to step out of the box for a minute and look in and go, okay, I'm able to do this. I'm comfortable doing this. And, that's why I'm excited for the sophomore record, man. It's just like I've established who I am now in this band, and now I'm just going to progress from there, do something really cool.
Now, is this – because I was noticing, too, like, does the lineup – and it looks like the lineup changes because the one guitar player who said that when I saw you guys in Philly, it looks like he's not in the band anymore.
Yeah, it's when I started the band originally, I wanted it to be just me with a touring lineup because people – I mean, man, you have to know, man. A lot of musicians are finicky. It comes – touring – isn't like it used to be. Most of us are just waiting for the tour to happen, seeing what's available, seeing the best opportunity. But, as you're waiting, these musicians aren't getting paid or they're finding other gigs or they're having realizations about their life and their girlfriend. And you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I wanted to make it easier for myself and easier for the fans to know, okay, this is my thing and have a touring lineup. But, as of recently, I had a bunch of guys that signed on for a while to be part of the band, and they're really excited about it. So, things change, and hopefully this lineup I have now sticks. If not, it's always an easy change nowadays. It's kind of crazy.
That's the thing that's, like, so surprising to me because, I know I see you're very very influenced by, like, Motley Crue, and you think to yourself, like, Motley Crue was pretty much the same four guys except for the whole John Corabi experience. But, back and then you didn't see many main member changes. And it's like now it's like yourself. Like, it's like, all right, well, here's Michael Orlando. He's the main guy, Dead Girls Academy. This is his project. This is his baby. And the other pieces are almost interchanging. And it's still kind of, me being the kid from the 80s and the 70s, it's still kind of shocking for me to see that.
Yeah, man, me too, man. I've been doing this 14 years. I've been in so many different bands, and even starting off playing in garages and being in U-Hauls all together and having a camaraderie, and that was part of it. And it's weird nowadays because musicians are very opportunistic, and if something better comes along, they're out. It's a hungry place to be, rock and roll, right now, and everybody wants to eat. And at the same time, you can't blame them for leaving, but it's right. It's a hard world to keep a friend even, so it's like, it's definitely different.
Yeah. And I said this to Nick too, as we were talking about this before we went live. And I said, this, like, things like that really show you that, it's rock and roll and it's a band, but it's really a job and a business. And that's where it really opens the people on the outside their eyes up to that.
Yeah, 100%. And if online now, it's been pretty bananas, man. All the A&Rs and all the lawyers and everybody's voicing their opinion about rock and where it is and the state of it and what's going to happen now that the dinosaurs have become extinct. The major giant bands that have been headlining these festivals for decades. It's like there's so many amazing people ending now. So who's going to fill the void? And the problem is that a lot of the booking agents aren't taking new things. A lot of labels aren't taking chances. So,
right.
It's hard to, back in the day, you want Motley Crue to do whatever Motley Crue's going to do. The label is going to give you an asinine bunch of money, and there's going to be booking agents working day and night to make sure they break you. I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's, it's one of those things. So it's like, it's not the same, and I love Victory, and Victory's been, to be honest, man, I've been on a lot of labels. Victory's been the best label as far as support that I've been on so far. And, we're still pushing as hard as we can to break through with the way the scene is right now. So, it is literally crazy. It's, and I think the craziest thing nowadays is is the buy on. So if you wanted to be on a tour, and I've never paid an asinine amount of money to be on any kind of tour in my past, but these bands that are coming out of nowhere are paying $30,000-$40,000 to just do a 20-day tour run with a band that draws 200 kids, and it's bananas.
Holy cow! Oh my God!
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
This whole business is so I'm flabbergasted. I see some bands from the Philly, New York area, and they go out they're unknown out here, and then it's we're playing the Whiskey, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are you doing in Hollywood? You're drawing 5 people here. How are you drawing? How are you going to get anybody at the Whiskey? And I know you got to sell tickets and stuff. I'm like, who's buying your tickets 3,000 miles away? And I just kind of scratch my head, and I'm scared to ask. I don't want to know the answer either.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's the old school mentality. It's get out there, grind, and earn your fan base. But the problem is that nowadays people aren't going to shows, and they want a package of bands, and that's why these festivals are doing so well in opinion to a 350 cap room, is because there's so many bands for these people to see. They'll pay the ticket price. Whereas if there's 1 or 2 bands they want to see, maybe, right. They might wait for you to come in a bigger package, and then they'll tell you, oh, well, I barely got through the door, so I have no money for merchandise. It's a crazy, right. It's crazy right now. Crazy.
It really is. And I remember when you guys came through in Philly and all, there was, if there was 200 people there, and I was kind of damn, there's 3-4 bands on this bill. Where the hell was everybody at? And then afterwards, I stopped over at the merch table, and I was talking to that guitar player, and again, I'm just well, where the hell's everybody at? Nobody's coming around, nobody's buying stuff. It's really, what is going on with these people?
It's crazy, man. And that's the thing. It's that tour with that Elita's. At first I was like, oh man, I thought there'd be more people because I remember his songs being, they're in Transformers. It's he's a great vocalist and whatnot. And when I was kind of disappointed at first with the draw, and then I went on another tour with a band that's been around for 10 years, that's been playing stadiums, and they're drawing less. Wow.
Yeah.
I get and it seems to be the trend, man, and I hope it does start changing. But I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that because I'm not sure exactly what is going on with that. But bands are still making majority of their income on the road.
Right. Yeah, that's why people go out there. That please, you got to buy merch, buy a shirt, buy a CD, buy something. I don't care if it's a freaking sticker. Buy something. Help you
man.
Get on gas, man. Really.
I feel that all the way. And everyone's, as far as social media goes with all of this too, all of the platforms changed. So now, instead of Facebook letting everybody see your posts, your fans that you've earned see your posts, you now have to pay. So your algorithm hits all of your fans. So they came up with that, and they allowed that. And, IG is not too far off as well. And
right.
Twitter, Jesus. It's how do I – in Vampires, man, I had 650,000 fans almost on my Facebook. And I had it for years. And I was I'm reaching people in Singapore that I don't even know how they got on my Facebook, And then when I put out a post, there'd be 100 people that respond. And I was this is not right. Because when I first started it, 40,000 people responding.
Holy cow.
And out of nowhere, it dwindled down to nothing. And to be clear, you need to be spending over $1,000 to even reach 30,000 of your fans.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating. So I think the answer to that is we all need to go back to MySpace.
Hey, Justin Timberlake tried, man. I had hopes for that.
I did too. Nobody will ask him about MySpace too. Somebody needs to ask him, what happened?
Oh yeah. How about making everything horizontal?
Yeah.
It was going from left to right. How would you even navigate? That was so weird.
Yeah, that was bad. That was a very bad idea.
We're platform.
Oh man. So now here's where we're going to throw the name of Totally Driven in there. So you guys were on the final Warped Tour this past summer, and didn't you like break your elbow or something? I saw on one of the shows and kept going.
All right. So when we started the tour, it was rocky, man. You know, no one knew our band. There was like 100 kids at the stage for the first 3-4 shows, and then we finally, I don't know what happened. I think we snowballed, and then we started getting like 500, then 1,000, and then more. And then I was like, so excited. So when the snowball started, I was in Dallas, and of course we're like, oh man, please don't get the opening slot. But we got the opening slot, and it was packed. I was so surprised. Like that was the moment I was like, oh, okay. So I drank a little more. I got a little more excited, and I got on the kick drum. And instead of doing the jump kick that I had planned, I just literally did a back jump kick on my elbow and slipped off the kick. And it broke. It shattered my elbow during the second to last song. So I had blacked out, and I'm seeing stars, and I could, you know that ringing in your ears. You're like, where am I? My tech comes over to me, goes, do you need the ambulance? Do you need a doctor? Whatever the hell he said to me. I was like, no, I'm going to finish the show. And I did a signing after that too. It was our biggest signing. And then I went back to the butt slam from Jack Daniels. And then our tour manager's like, your elbow's the size of 3 elbows. We need to take you to the hospital. And that's when they told me, you need immediate surgery to fix this. Yeah, you need immediate surgery, or, you can figure something else out. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, well, it'll heal on its own. If you give it time, it's just going to be awfully painful. I was like, well, it'll heal on its own. So I just kept going. I said, hell with it.
Oh, dude. Like a normal person, like when they just bang their elbow on a table, they're in extreme pain. But you're just like, I'll just roll with it forever.
Bro, after breaking your entire face, and I had broke that arm before from the accident, and I had no teeth in my mouth. I've been through so much crazy things in my life that I was like, you know what? First of all, I'm not dropping off the Warped Tour, the last one. My elbow can suffer, and I have a tour right after that can't suffer. I need to keep going. So you got to warrior through it, man, because we had some good tours. I just did not want to just drop off and sit at home. That sounds like a nightmare.
Right. Especially during the summer.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
Now, the album Alchemy, I saw somewhere. It might have been on Facebook. I'm not sure where. But the description of the album, I love it. It's an album about fake friends, hangers-on, split personalities, social climbing, and attention-hunting whores.
Yeah, that's about it.
Now, the weird thing is, I never heard the term social climbing until I was taping an interview with a band from Seattle last night, and he said it. And I was like, wow. And then I read that today. I'm like, holy crap. Like, this is like a whole new term now. It's on my radar. And it's, going back to this world of social media, it is so important to be a social climber now.
Oh, it's crazy. The crazy part was, man, it's like I've lived in Hollywood, California for like, I don't know, it's looking on 11 years now. And the last 3 years I was with Ronnie in a house, and the girls that were coming in and out of that house, the way they presented themselves, even when we were in like clubs or bars, and the guys, everybody was looking for the next best thing, because these girls are coming to Hollywood, man, thinking they're being actresses and models and whatever else, and it doesn't work. So now they're looking for, a rock star boyfriend to settle down with and pay for their stuff. And, I got to see this firsthand. If it wasn't me, it was him, and it was like, wow. It was an out-of-body experience to, like, actually see people putting themselves out there like that, especially women. And it was, I don't know, man. It came out in the writing, when me and Ronnie were writing, it was just like, wow, this is definitely, we got to put this in here. Metaphorically as much as humanly possible, but we put it in there.
So basically, Alchemy is pretty much about the L.A. Hollywood scene.
I would say so, mostly.
That's awesome. That is so freaking awesome. Now, actually, the name Dead Girls Academy, was there any specific dead girl out there that the band was named after, or?
Well, initially, I wanted Dead Academy. I've been having this Dead Academy name since Vampire days. I was like, I wish I could have a band that says Dead Academy. I don't even know why. And I tried to take it, and this stupid band, I'm going to say they're dumb, because I asked them, I was like, look, you haven't been active for like 100 years. I was like, I really want this band name. And they're like, we're not giving it up. We're writing new music, which they never did. And Ronnie's like, if you throw girls in there, it would make more sense for you because of the relationship stuff that you've been through, Dead Girls Academy. And, I was like, that's funny. Go with that, because I'm an AFI fan. DGA has that the three-letter word. I love that, so we went with that.
Now I'm going to throw a little plug out there for my old band, because we had that 3-name thing going on too, and our first thing, now I think about it, we were Dead too, but we were the Dead Gerber Babies.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
That's amazing. That's a crazy name. Were you like a hardcore band?
Yeah, it was like hardcore. We started after G.G. Allen, put it that way. There was a lot of.
Oh man, that's way beyond hardcore, man.
There was a lot of blood and naked. There was.
Oh yeah, I've heard stories about that guy. That's craziness.
Yeah, we were banned from every club in Philly, so we had to break up at one point for many years.
Wow, that's crazy. I gotta look that up.
There's some YouTube videos. Yeah, there's some out there. Some old stuff with blood, and then there's some newer stuff when we got back together and we were more mature.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure.
Speaking of YouTube, so my co-host Nick, actually, he made a video using one of your guys' song, and you guys had shared it back out. Nick, what was that video you made?
It was for the song Far Away, and it was actually, it's crazy because I didn't know the whole like horror vampires thing, but it's for this show, The Originals, which is about vampires, and it just I just liked the song, and I thought it really matched up with what I had in my head. So I'm just kind of giving a shot at making like fan videos and stuff like that, and it was. Yeah, man, just inspired by it, that's all.
That's awesome. Well, also, the thing is, I love that show, The Originals. I'm a weirdo with the vampire, culture. I mean, obviously, my name, but it's like there's certain shows out there that just capture my attention, man. And like when I first saw when I heard Vampire Diaries, I was like, oh, here we go. And then, I you know what I mean? And then I fell in love with Damon, because he's such a prick, and then along came Klaus, who's a outer space prick compared to him. And The Originals became one of my favorite shows. I really do appreciate you doing that. I did see that.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's called My Father the Monster, and it was all about Klaus and his daughter. So there you go.
That's amazing. Well, I'm gonna find that and put it on the IG, because that sounds awesome. I'm gonna revisit that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Speaking of, so the person that also, like I mentioned earlier, that put you onto our radar, Nick's daughter is actually on the line. I know she wants to say hi, so let's get her on here. So, Becca, you're live on the air with Mr. Michael Orlando. Don't have a heart attack.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
So I actually had a question for you.
Yes.
So you talk. Well, there are a lot of musicians out there starting out that like are inspired by you. What was like one of your reasons of wanting to do music and be in this world instead of doing a normal day job or something?
Oh wow, there's so many reasons, but I think expressing yourself is like the number one thing for me, because I have so much anxiety and I have so much pent up stuff going on with me, and I needed an outlet. And music was the release for me.
Huh?
You know, a lot of people get involved with different hobbies and stuff like that, you know, like all sorts of crazy things, and it's their little release. It's like, but when I started music, it literally consumed me because I wanted that feeling all of the time, and that kind of kickstarted it for me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm a really big fan. I've been following you since Vampires Everywhere, and I met you at your first show, and then at the bowling event, and then at Warped Tour. So
that's amazing. Well, I appreciate your support, and I want to thank you for putting them on to Dead Girls, and I hope I see you at a show soon. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'll be keeping my eye out for the tour dates for an Arizona date, definitely.
Most definitely. Well, Arizona, I'll make sure to put that in the mix then.
All right.
There you go. Thanks, Becca.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
So, all right, so
yeah, dude, you just made her millennium.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, what's the plans for the band now for the rest of the year since we're coming to a close?
Well, currently, you know, since we got back from tour, we just got back from Ashes to New, so we just basically jumped in the studio. Me and my bass player Alex have been just recording nonstop, and we were actually recorded something I can't say yet. I'm sure everyone will know soon enough about it. We're out there trying to figure out tours and trying to figure out what's going to work for us. And I'm pretty positive we're going to be heading over to Europe, probably Germany, UK, that area. I'm hoping to headline that. We already went out there with Falling in Reverse, so I wanted to go and, you know, kind of capitalize and revisit all the fans that we made and see how that goes, and then come back here and probably do a U.S. tour. So I'm, you know, something like in that realm at this point.
Awesome. So it sounds like we could have more new music very soon then.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we're working on a song or two. We're trying to keep the juices flowing as far as the music goes, and trying to keep people interested. You know, there's only so many pictures of me in a hat or without a hat that I can start posting until people are like, "We get it, man."
Oh, it's so funny. Especially since, you know, you got to get back up to them 30,000 likes, you know, per picture. So yeah, you got to.
Yeah, oh man, I got to get back up there, bro. And you know, I was way late. You know, I was a weirdo with Instagram. When it first started, I was like, I don't like it, right? And I went a very, very long time without starting one. So I joined the club way late. So now I'm playing catch up to all the people that are busting out those 30,000 likes per picture. So I got to get prettier or get more creative. So I'm on it.
I was just going to say that, you know, it's kind of scary because you see like a Kardashian or somebody like that. And I was looking the other day, and one of the Kardashian girls, like, they put a picture up and it was like 5 million likes. I'm like, how does this happen? Like, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's they came out in a period where, you know, everybody was looking for something or someone to live vicariously through, and they were literally the young version of that for our generation. You know, they're driving Ferraris, they're going on yachts, they live in mansions, and they have sex tapes, and everybody wants to see what they're doing, and everybody wants to live that lifestyle. You know, that's the dream. So it ended up catching on with the youth culture, and the mom, Kris Jenner, she made a lot of great moves, and you know, all the daughters are dating famous rappers, and so they must be cool, and it just became a cultural phenomenon at that point. And you know, I could see them getting those likes, and I mean, they're all, you know, cosmetically altered, and it's interesting. You know, I don't watch the show because, to be clear, it makes me, it's that feeling in the back of your throat when you hear something a little too poppy, or, you know, that thing you want to get out of there, like, oh, I feel uncomfortable. I can't watch it, but I do get it, you know.
Now, well, talking about getting uncomfortable, did you happen to see, what is he called now, Ye? When he was dressed up like a bottle of soda on Saturday Night Live a few weeks ago? Like, how, I sat there and I was like, that is just so embarrassing. Like, I can't believe my eyes. Like, what is he doing?
Oh, man. You know what? Someone recently just showed me that song and said, I have to catch up on what's going on here in the culture. And I was like, wow, that is the worst song I've heard in history. And what is it, like, 45 seconds or something like that? And,
right.
and it's, oh my God, it's bad. Unless these people are just like completely focused on the beat or something, I'm not quite positive, but that was I got to hand it to them, man. Them dressing like Kool-Aid characters definitely helped the song because it made it more interesting. Because wow, what a piece of junk that is.
So does this mean like the next Dead Girls Academy video, you guys might be dressed like bottles of Jack Daniels or?
Oh my God, dude, that's an amazing idea. That is an amazing idea for a spoof. I would love to do that.
There you go.
There it is.
Come on.
I'll give you credit 100%.
I will freaking piss my pants in hysterics if I see this.
That'd be great.
I'll even do it on Facebook Live. How about that? That'll help me.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready now. I take this.
Oh man. So all right. So Mike, dude, thanks for doing this. Where should we send everybody to go to get the album, the music, to find out about you guys, and to like you, love you, follow you, and help get those likes up?
That'll be awesome. Yeah, just head over to Instagram. It's Dead Girls Academy. We have a link on our bio where you can go and buy the record. The same applies for Twitter, but that is DGA Band. You can follow me at sorry to say the real Michael Vampire because somebody got Michael Vampire. So now I'm the real Michael Vampire on IG. And I'm Michael Vampire on Twitter. So you put Dead Girls Academy in, we will pop up.
That's awesome. Dude, thanks again, man. It was great talking to you, and look forward to you rolling back through Philly, and I know Becca and them will be waiting for you to come back through Arizona.
That'll be great, man. I really do appreciate your support. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Great talking to you.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too. Take care. All right, there he goes. Michael Orlando, Dead Girls Academy. Check them out. I'm kind of like shocked. I mean, it was like the instant referral to Instagram. That's really it now, isn't it?
It's funny, while you guys were talking, I sent him the link to the fan video on his Instagram page. No, I'm like, I hope he shares it out. That interview really turned my day around, man. Like, I was having a really shitty day today, and that, like, I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know. Like, that's pretty cool, man.
Dude, I'll tell you what. It's like last night, like yesterday. I was having a shitty day yesterday, and I taped this interview last night with this dude Jackson from this band called Designer Disguised. They're a band from Seattle, and like my whole mood changed. Like this dude was so just like this guy Mike, such a nice freaking guy, and like I didn't know what to expect because they're pretty much an unknown band, but he was like so like such a smart dude, young dude too. I mean young, like probably mid-20s, so freaking talented, like. And we just had a great conversation. We ended up doing 45 minutes, and it was just, and I even said to him multiple times, like, dude, this is like such a nice just conversation of talking to you.
That's awesome.
Same with the, reasons why, I keep doing this show is people like that.
That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. And even like, with you, we say it every week, like our conversations between me and you just are fun conversations.
It is, man. Like for the last half an hour, man, I like totally forgot that I was feeling like shit all day today. You know what I mean? Like that's the best part of the show as far as I'm concerned.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, now we get the true test. We get to see if the phone line will work to call out. I'm kind of almost scared to try it.